Hey, on Out of the Mud, Flint After Dark, and a couple more streaming sites and whatnot, Facebook. This is episode 14. Today's subject is internal battles and how do you identify them and what are you doing to deal with them if you can recognize them. So today you have myself, Larry Lott. To my left, you have
Joel Jones.
And going on and moving around.
You got Marcus Brown from Chest Frog Farms. Pick up the mic. Marcus Brown from Chest Frog Farms.
Ready.
Gina Luster from Flint Rising.
Liberty Bell.
And James Mayfield,
Liberty.
the greatest Mayfield.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's what's happening. So, how many people in here, by show of hands or whatever, are able to identify personal battles, battles from within? And if so, what ones are you dealing with, and how are you dealing with them? Go ahead.
Right now I'm trying to quit smoking, but I also suffer from PTSD, and I also suffer from some reactionary stuff that I developed in the military, and my family gets on me about it like it's not worth the reactions. So I'm trying to become a better person by not always overreacting or reacting sometimes.
So those are your internal battles. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
One of my internal battles is coming up and believing in self-preservation for so many years and thinking that it was just about me and I had to fend for myself. So I deal with that internal battle now that I got older, and I know that it's not just about me because I'm married with a family now. So it's like you tying your shoes for so many years a certain way, and then the last, let's say you tie your shoe for 30 years, and then the last 10 years it's a certain different way you're supposed to tie. It's hard.
Yeah, that's deep.
I don't know. When I think about it, I mean, I feel like we all, go through, like, even unconsciously, like, internal battles. I feel like just making choices and decisions, it's almost like we always battling with, what we think about stuff, what the public might think about stuff, what other people around us gonna think about it. And so it's like just the mere decision making process is like a battle sometimes, because you weighing so much, so many different facts, so many different opinions before you even make a decision in life sometimes. Even us jumping in trying to figure out what's our internal battle. We want to, what can I talk about, or what should I talk about, what can I say, what's okay to say, can I even tell them this side, and so it's like I think just life in general is just so many different internal battles that we just deal with on a daily basis, just making decisions.
Okay.
So what we would like to do, if there's anyone that's out there that's paying attention and that's watching today, and you might want to talk about an internal battle, or you might want to get involved with Lessons for Larry,
Yeah.
the phone number to reach us and the call in is 248-820-5053. 248-820-5053.
There's a song in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's a song.
Yeah.
We're making a song out of it.
I got a question, Mr. Larry. When you talk about internal battles, are you talking about health battles? Are you talking about what make you tick? Are you talking about just the mechanics of implicit bias or social racism?
Okay.
What are you identifying internal?
Okay, I left it general, for a reason, because it varies from person to person. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I think about internal battles, I think about like you can call it a holy war, that goes on within yourself, good versus evil. You know what I mean? And being able to identify a battle. You know what I mean? And what a battle consists of, and are you actually winning the battle? Was the battle, beating you? You know what I mean? And myself included. You know what I mean? Like, you may have a good thought and, come up with something that's real good. Then, you get on the other flip side, you got a bad thought. Now, which one is you pursuing? Which thought is taking control? You know what I mean? And that's a battle within itself. And then oftentimes we don't even identify our battles. You know what I mean? So therefore, if you don't identify, guess what? You ain't got to deal with it. But so you really on cruise control, or should I say autopilot.
Deal with it, or you deal with it and you don't know that you're dealing with it.
Yeah, oftentimes you can deal with it and not realize that you actually dealing with this, or or people would just some people deal with it better by just not even acknowledging it.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Would you say that it depends on your morals and your values too?
Yeah.
If you even are able to identify that you.
Yeah, because a lot of people, sometimes people want to accept things about themselves. Like, for me, I like to hear people say something about me, whether if it's good or bad. You know what I mean? Because if it's bad, it might be something that I really need to correct. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not identifying it. I don't see it as bad until it's brought to my attention. And then oftentimes, a lot of times you can bring something to a person's attention, and instead of just like they say, instead of you listening, if I'm talking to you, instead of you listening to me, you thinking about how you can respond, instead of listening.
You become defensive.
Yeah, and that's oftentimes where conversations go. You know what I mean? So, it's just it's a thing where I identify it as a battle. You know what I mean? And I don't mind changing. And see, I know as a human being, in human nature, we creatures of comfort, and we hate change, whether we want to say it or not. We hate change. Like say for instance, you go to a job, you've been doing this a certain way, your chair been that way a certain way, or that trash can been next to your desk every day for the past 5 years. When you come in, and first thing you notice that's not there. Now, where's my trash can? It moved and it changed, but you didn't. You know what I'm saying? So now you trying to locate it so you can put it back where you can be comfortable to where it's been there all along. Where you used to be, where you used to seeing it at.
I think the topic that you're talking about covers a lot of different issues. There are problems that people can easily identify that they have, whether it be drinking too much or eating too much.
Even if you say even if you say drinking too much, a person, if you ask an alcoholic, is you drinking too much, he might tell you, no, give me another bottle. But you looking at him like, hold on, you drinking way too much. So you know what I mean? Now, he ain't identified as an issue or a battle or a problem, because it's something he don't want to deal with. You know what I mean?
I think that sometimes, honestly, people are not conscious of themselves having a problem. I got a brother that loves to gamble, but he doesn't see it as a problem. But then I know some people that spend half their check on lottery tickets, and they don't think they got a problem. So I think that acknowledging the problem is a key factor here. There's some obvious problems. I need to lose weight. I definitely need to stop smoking. But then there are some internal problems that we don't always click or realize.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So in saying that, so the person that's 700 pounds, they don't see a problem like Larry was saying with eating. If you done ate 5 pieces.
All you can eat.
Yeah, I watched that show, 600 Pound Life. I'm like, this new ordering food is real bad for people that have
eating disorders.
Right. Because they order. I'm like, this dude just ordered 5 large pieces. And he talking about he need to have the lap band surgery. So
yeah.
So I guess, you could say that for anywhere. You got the people who won't eat one edible and then eat 10 edibles and wonder why they can't move for 2 days.
Why they stuck?
Yeah.
I think that it's very imperative that we learn to identify our own issues and deal with them, head on. You know what I mean? As opposed to, putting it off or saying I can hide this or, no, deal with it the right way so it can go away. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
I think my battles are internal in the aspect of like DNA, like stuff, generational internal battles. Because myself, I do suffer from PTSD. But like again, you talked about change. I get angry or upset when I see all the money being fueled in downtown Flint. And I'm like, where is the money at on the north side? Why we don't have a grocery store? That's the stuff that frustrates me. But now I found the solution where I can go to Mr. Brown house and get fresh fruits and vegetables on that 8 acre on what, was a stigma for me, Devil's Lake. Now it's, Flint Park again. So, and it's food and vegetables over there. And my
wildlife.
Kids, yeah, so that again, listen, that's internal for me. Like it's something in me burn and it made me want to turn into like a Nat Turner or something when I see the transitions, and I'm like, do I accept the change and do I get with the program, or do I try to revert back to Turtle Island?
Well, see, it's in my opinion, in my humble opinion, it's so many people that benefits off our ignorance, to where it's like, let's keep them ignorant so we can keep benefiting, because if they ever wake up, then our goose is cooked. You know what I mean? But we play right into the narrative, because the first thing don't nobody want to deal with is self. If we took the time, if everybody took the time and initiative to deal with their self, knowing what your issues is, no matter how good we hide our flaws or whatever, if we just each one address your own issues, you know what I mean? And then after you done address your issues, I'm not saying that you done completely eradicated them, but after you done addressed them, at least you identified them. That's the beginning. Once you done identified them, then you can start coming to people, because you can say, hey, I'm coming to you and I know I'm flawed, but I'm coming to you when you got flaws too, but I'm not here to point them out. You know what I mean? Let's meet on the common ground to get something done that bothers the both of us, that bothers all of us.
That's it right there. And then she just mentioning about acceptance too. I think acceptance is that's the biggest, the piece, regardless of accepting change or accepting yourself, because you got to be able to accept life on life's terms, and so even if it's our ignorance, you gotta like you were just saying, you gotta know, like it's some things we just ignorant to. He's got the farm. We could be getting the USDA loans and all that kind of stuff, but everybody might not even know about that. Like we all could become farmers. You could do it right next to your house in the neighborhood. It's so many different opportunities out there. We just have to go ahead and be humble and be meek and say, hey, I don't know this. Who can help? And that even go back to what the conversations about the internal battles, because sometimes we don't want to put ourselves out there like that to be able to get the help that we need, because we stuck in this mindset where we've gotten so far away from community, and we feel like how you just talking about earlier, self-preservation, like I'm out here all by myself, when in reality you got a neighbor. You got people that stay right next to you, people that stay across the street from. Do you know them? And we living in time right now where you really don't all the time. You almost don't want to know them, and you don't want them to know you.
Community for real.
So
straight up, that was a very valid point. That was very valid. And the sense of community and the sense of unity is not there. You know what I mean? Because we can find more reasons about each other for us not to get together than we can find reasons for us to get together. You know what I mean? And people benefit from that behavior, from that mindset. They benefit from it. Matter of fact, they promote it. Go ahead, Mr.
Well, I think it takes events like this, us discussing issues that we might personally have, and I think it's important, especially for our community, to start doing that more. Whether we talk about mental health, or we sharing a problem that we have, or we sharing our view. Some people assume that you can just you got land, you can instantaneously get a loan, but that might not be the right way. Chasing that money ain't always a good thing, and sometimes chasing that money comes with strings.
Oh, no question. The money always comes with strings. You know what I mean? So the money is not free. Free ain't free. Like I got a 7-year-old daughter, and I teach her we don't want nothing free. We ain't stand no free lines. We not impressed by free. Don't even think that. Don't even start thinking like, don't look for nothing for free. Matter of fact, you see free, you go the other way. Yeah.
Why you can't say that, Larry, my name Liberty. You talk about status, you see me go the other way
if it's liberty, that's dealing with freedom.
But that's freedom, but that's still the concept of free.
But freedom ain't free.
In my internal battles, I stand in all the free lines. Even when I'm standing at all the 510c3 free lines. Hey, I need an extra one of that.
But here's the thing. Now, when you do that, guess what? Somebody can get you used to that free stuff and then turn around and say, well, if you don't do this right here, you don't what they call it, you don't what word am I looking for? Qualify. Yeah, you don't qualify for that free stuff that you used to and that you used to receive.
So I can't get my free water anymore. I can't.
Well, I ain't got no free water. I was paying for the water, even in steel bowl.
I know, right?
What was scary about the free water though? You had people driving Escalades, waiting in a line for half an hour, burning up $5 worth of gas to get a $4 case of water.
Yep. $2.98 at the time.
Well, $2.98. They were spending more on gasoline to get the free water with their Escalades and they nice vehicle. I'm like, something's backwards here. Something's wrong. But yeah, you got to be careful with if somebody gives you something all the time, you become a slave to them.
So you got to be careful with liberty. Your liberties, you have to be careful.
Oh, for sure.
You have to define.
You have to liberties like you protect your peace. And these days, you really have to protect you have to make a concerted effort to protect your peace.
Again, so that goes back to my internal battle, right? Mm-hmm. And to protect my liberties, like what am I doing? Do I say internally? Do I deal with the battle, or do I accept the change, or do I fight the good fight?
How do you define liberty? How do you define freedom? And I think each one of us needs to ask ourselves that question.
Look,
how do you define it?
Freedom for me is a state of mind. That's for me. If my mind is free, I'm cool. But as far as, we actually, physically, you're not free. Don't fool yourself. Dang. Let me see you walk to Canada.
Yeah.
If you that free, let me see you. It's right across. Go on up there. Let me see you walk to Canada.
And
I'm just saying, not just.
No, I'm just saying
because we're not free like that.
That's an internal battle. So me having the name Liberty and being a narcissist, because I feel like that's my freedom of speech. That's my right. But then I'm in a room where I gotta watch my mouth or watch what I say or how I say it. Going back to what Jules said, is you always having that internal battle about making those decisions. So I'm at liberty to say what I want to say, but does that benefit me or does that not? Do I tell people internally battle, that's what makes me tick, or do I stay and I kind of shy away from it?
Remember. Let me ask you this: is your real name Liberty?
Yes.
Okay, so somebody wanted you to be liberated.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So since somebody wanted you
very much so.
Since they wanted you to be liberated, they wanted you to be free. Perhaps they wasn't free. But see, free is that state of mind, that mindset. Yeah.
And that's what I said. That's that DNA. That's the DNA of internal. That's that DNA of internal battles.
The call in. Sorry, I'm sorry. Could you finish that last part?
I said that's the internal battle that goes back to the thing that I talked about DNA wise. You saying freedom is a state of mind. So. How do we find a free state of mind, or how do we not be in bondage?
You ever heard the saying, free your mind and your tail will follow?
And the rest will follow.
Okay, right. But I'm telling you, more
and I'm
people.
I'm just devil's advocate over here right now.
Okay, that's cool, but more people's minds is uptight and not free. They think it is, but they really not. You're not even you from the time you open up your eyes, your subconscious mind is under attack. With a commercial of subliminal suggestion or this or that, you know what I'm saying? So it's so cloudy, it's just, it's a trip. But you can call in. We taking calls, if you want to join the conversation. The call in number is 248-820-5053.
So T-Cell said, LL, what it do?
Hey.
Yep.
Hey, now.
And if I can add to the conversation, if y'all don't mind.
Go ahead, of course.
So you said the conversation is about internal battle.
Yes, sir.
Where those may be.
Whatever
so
yeah.
I shared a little bit with James, a little bit with Brown. So my internal battle is value.
Okay.
I wake up every day wondering why I woke up. Literally. Like, why am I here? And then the only thing that I do is try to help as many people as I can before it's not time for me to be here.
Well, that's why you woke up.
So, but that still ain't of value to me. You know, because I look at it like this. So for me, to my knowledge, I don't have any children that I know of. I done did enough. I done did enough to have them. But I don't.
Right.
They be lying up there. You can get you some kids for the show is over. Before the show is over, you get. Oh yeah, you got money too. Yeah, you can get you some kids for the show is over. Don't worry about
call
that.
in now.
I promise you.
Like the
They'll be not process serving you. Go ahead.
Look, hey, DNA test required.
I do know some little kids that look kind of resemble you for real.
We heard you got a couple kids overseas.
Look, no, I wouldn't do nobody like that. But let me get back to it. And then I don't have a consistent woman in my life to be like, I'm gonna go home to such and such and whatever. I have a difficult time holding relationships. You know,
Why do you think that is?
because I can be difficult. I question everything.
Gemini.
So, but it's a lot of things like that. And you know, I ain't no beater or nothing like that. I ain't never put my hands on a woman or I don't. I try to uplift the women that I'm around. And
You question everything?
yeah, depend in certain ways. Look, James looking at me like, yep, he about to do it again.
No, I want you to know because I mean, you may have somebody out there that's just dealing with this same, you know.
And that's why I'm
similar.
saying it, because I don't have I understand my trials and tribulations because I was in the military, so I'm diagnosed with PTSD, depression, and anxiety, and that stuff is real.
Yeah.
You know, I call the crisis hotline twice or 3 times a month. Because I might have an anxiety attack. I'm in the middle of sleeping, and then I'm just like cold sweat, hearing people scream, just all kinds of stuff in my head. And that some of that's from Flint, some of that's from the military, some just all kinds of stuff.
Some of that's just from knowing me.
Probably because you always wearing the purple shirts. But yeah, so I'm just saying, putting it out there that for me, I have a value thing because growing up, I didn't fit certain. Oh, we got to call in. Come on, hold on. I got to pause.
Hold on.
There we go.
Pause for the calling. Hold on. Put your headphones on so we can.
Okay. Tell them to call back.
Please call back in. We're getting used to this new technology.
Now, man, golly. Sounded desperate.
Please call.
Yeah.
Please call me.
They call me back.
I've been waiting for your call.
You sound like one of them care commercials.
What's that number, Mr.
Flying
Larry?
blood.
What's the number again?
The number is.
So they can call and talk to me.
Close to the mic, man.
Yeah,
just turn his mic
yeah,
down.
Yeah, for real. You don't need a mic.
All right,
You
the
listen.
caller should be on there.
Okay.
Caller, you there?
Yo.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, what's happening, man? Hey, this is John Snow, T-Cells. What's going on?
Hey, what's happening with you? How you doing, T-Cells?
What's up, man?
My man.
Hey, what's up, LL? You good, baby?
Yeah, I'm peaceful, man. You know what I'm talking about, protecting my peace at all costs.
Yeah, what's the topic, bro?
Oh, the topic.
I got in late.
Okay, yeah, the topic is tell me what the topic is, George.
Is man, I never forgot.
Internal
Internal battles.
Internal battles.
Yeah.
And how you
I'm about to shut up.
identify them, and how you identify your internal battles, and how do you deal with them? You know what I mean?
Y'all go deep today.
Yeah, I mean, these are things that need to be talked about because we all face them. You know what I mean? But a lot of people good at masking them. You know what I mean? Covering them up. You know, and acting like it ain't no battle when it really should be a battle. Because if it ain't a battle, it should be one unless you perfect.
Hey, mental health.
Yeah, it's real. It's real. Hey, untreated trauma is
Yeah,
real.
yeah,
It's a lot of things you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
grow up in you can't grow up in the ghetto or whatever you want to call it, the hood, the ghetto or whatever, and see the things you see and go through what you go through, and not think that you're not going to be affected by your environment.
Yeah, we ain't had it from the ancestors.
Yeah, I mean the pain that too through the DNA, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The slaves, we ain't heard that shit from, you know.
Okay.
So, but a lot of people think mental health is like one who flew over the cuckoo nest type shit.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it ain't. It's different capacity.
Hey, for
You know
real.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like me, I go through depression. I got mental health, you know what I'm saying? 2
Right,
3 times
right.
a year, I get depressed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't
Right.
ashamed to say that shit.
No. Because if you can identify it, you can cure it. But if you can't identify it, you ain't gonna work on it. You ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Yeah, like some mental health require medicine and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
So it's just different. It's just different. I think that needs to be addressed more in Afro America.
right. Oh, of course. We definitely got a lot of untreated trauma and stuff like that. Now I can show you an example. If you take, the majority of us are black men, with the exception of these two beautiful black women that's here. Okay, now when we see the police, even if you know you ain't did nothing wrong, you can't tell me that your blood, if they check your pulse rate or your anxiety, it goes up, and you ain't did. Yeah.
When they get behind me, I got L's. Fucking,
insurance,
and everything.
Tax rate.
My back still hurt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I definitely understand, and that's just one of the things, to where we really have to, we just have to address these issues, man, and talk about them, man. Get it out. You know what I mean? Because even when you speak on it, that's a form of therapy within itself. Right. Because
talking to somebody, man.
Yeah, you can't internalize everything and think you're gonna be all right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
all right, man.
That was a beautiful point, man.
Thank you. I just want to tap in with y'all, man. Keep doing y'all thing, man.
As always, man, we appreciate your presence.
We appreciate it, man.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, my man.
All right, peace and love, man.
Okay, peace.
All right,
Okay.
So one of the things I was thinking about when y'all was speaking, we were just talking about this over dinner about how some people they own worst enemies and haven't learned themselves well enough to control that you're talking about, because it could be DNA, but you got to recognize that and be able to control it.
Mm-hmm.
When you get that feeling, you say come back over here, because that can get. Remember I said let her go. We're going to let that one make it. Mm-hmm. But old Gina wouldn't have let that make it. I'd have been, come on, what you want? No. But no, we're going to let her make it, because maybe she was new. Maybe she just don't know no better. I said maybe her daddy the owner. She feel like she can talk to. We don't know what her issue is, what she dealing with today internally. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something. Like I told my wife, she'd be quick to, you behind tinted windows. How you gonna have road rage behind tinted windows? But she'd be quick to be like, and I'd be like, hold on, little lady, let me tell you something. This person in this other vehicle that you know zero about could be on their way to go do some destruction, and then you be like, to do some of that crazy stuff that be going on in this world that we all done seen in the news and stuff, and you become the first victim because you sitting up here mad because they didn't use their blinker. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know what someone else is going through, or what's you just know what you going through. That's just like I tell people, don't say what someone else won't do, because first of all, you setting yourself up because you underestimating another human being. Mm-hmm. Now, what you can do is say what you won't do, but don't say what somebody else won't do.
Because you will be disappointed every time.
And you don't even know what you would do in this situation too. Unless you until you face with it. And that's where the acceptance come in. Shoot, they ain't use their blinker. Shoot, we all still alive. So what?
Yeah,
right. I ain't tripping. Go ahead.
Girl was talking crazy. It's all right.
And then
but we ain't.
She wanted.
At the county. We ain't at the city lockup right now.
A lot of times,
even in the lockup,
they want that problem. They want that.
And that is my internal. That helps me with my internal battle, because I say, "Hey, Liberty, do you want someone to tell you when you can piss or shit or not?" I don't want. I'm scared of jail. I'm so scared of jail.
They can't tell you when to piss, because
they ain't gonna tell you when to piss. You can piss on yourself.
They gonna give you a chance.
If I got, y'all know my.
Right. But just having somebody telling you what to do.
You can go pee at this time.
Or you gotta ask somebody, can I go to the bathroom?
Can I go?
But even then, that's acceptance. Even like what you was talking about earlier about the mind. I remember when I was like that, like my body might have been like contained, but like he was saying, it's all about your mind. So like, where's you at when the time comes, even if you got nobody, if you in jail, you somewhere else, somebody gonna be telling you something to do.
Somebody gonna always
tell you. And whether
you
listen or not, it's on you on how you receive it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and so I think that's the important piece too. Like, how do you receive? Even if you was in that situation, they's telling you, wear this, don't wear this, stand here, don't stand here. At the end of the day, I mean, you accept where you at. You see this the process you got to go through. It's not hurting you, to do what people tell you to do most of the time. Now, if they tell you to do something crazy, that's different. But most of the time, stuff that people do and say is not really affecting us on a level where it's life changing.
Right. Right.
So something about me. Oh, I'll let Mr. Brown go. That internal battle, just as Gina was saying earlier, I'm the helicopter friend. The girl told Gina, she said, well, I got this white salad. Y'all gave me a lot of white salad. Lettuce. The girl said, oh, you just tossed through it and picked through it. And I'm looking at her like, wait a minute, we paying for a service here, right? So I'm looking at Gina to get a reaction because I'm ready to snap off and knock the shit off the plate. If you just give me the go, Gina like, you know what? I'm like, so do we tell her as a black woman, hey, that's not how you handle yourself in a service job, or do we leave it alone because she young?
Learned that at home. That should have been
but
taught
she
at home.
said that, but my thing was
like that.
Right.
But my thing was, okay, well, who? The service job, that's the service. You in service, you looking for a tip, right? You tell this woman that it's clearly a bunch of white lettuce head salad, and we're looking at it, and you tell her to flip it over. Who the fuck is you? Excuse my language, but I'm ready to just throw the food and
she ready to go jump on, and I'm telling her like, wait a minute, you don't have your food yet.
Right.
So you make sure that you jump off after we all got everything.
I wouldn't want to really eat.
So internal. So that's, and I asked again, is that a DNA problem? Because again, I could have went to Mr. Brown farm and got a $16.95 salad that we paying for, for
fresh.
Somebody to tell you to eat a white piece of lettuce.
Right.
So internal.
I went to a restaurant around here recently, and matter of fact, this is my review. The Brothers joint. I went up in there, right? Mm-hmm. So I know that they have good real lemonade, good real orange juice. Mm-hmm. So I asked the waitress. I'm sitting down. I say I would like, I was finna make my order, but I said I like some lemonade with no ice, cause I already know y'all charge a grip for it, so I don't want your ice. I'm cool. I might get, I don't need no ice. So she tell me, she said, well, if you don't want ice, we're gonna give you a smaller cup. I said, but you trying to say at the same price? Mm-hmm. Hold on. So the lady tell me, yeah, at the same price. So I said, well, you mean tell me I'm gonna pay for something that I'm not getting? I'm gonna get less than simply because I don't want no ice? And I said, well, don't it seem logical that would affect your tip? When I said that, hold on. You know what she told me? She was like, well, I don't have to serve you. And you know what I said? You are absolutely right. And I got up and told my wife, come on, we going. We leaving this. Right. Because see, first of all, I have zero respect. I'm spending my money with y'all. Right. You know what I'm saying? And tip is an option. I'm a tipper, right? But it's an option. Mm-hmm. I'm not obligated to tip you nothing.
You earn it.
But I'm just telling you, since you're gonna try to tell me that I got to take a smaller cup but pay the same price, because I don't want ice, then you tell me, and I tell you what, don't you think that money that I'm saving might just come off your tip? If I'm paying more, it's coming off your tip. Yeah. And then she tell me, well, I don't have to serve you. And March, made the scene. I said, no, I'm gone. You right. You don't have to serve me. You're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. And I left about that joint. Ain't been back since. For real. And I liked it, the restaurant. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to talk to me any type of way. And another one of my pet peeves is this right here. When you go to a store, gas station, or whatever have you, and you have to use the restroom, and they don't have no restroom for the public. Mm-hmm. But you selling whatever you selling in my community, and I can't even use your bathroom. That's another pet peeve for me. I'll turn around and march out and go urinate on the side of the building and keep it moving and go somewhere else to spend more. So go ahead, okay.
Yeah. Mr. Brown, you thought
I gave him my. I tried to hold it from him for as long as I could.
Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown been very patient.
I think it's important that we look at these personal battles and our personal ways of trying to improve ourselves as a goal each day.
Right.
When I was teaching, we used to have kids do affirmations. And it sounds corny.
They're powerful.
But it sounds corny to some people, but to look at yourself in the mirror, brush your teeth, and say a prayer, or to say, today, I'm going to do better than I did yesterday. And to look at your day in the evening and say, I did better, or I slipped here.
I have an experiment I like for all of us to try. You know, not right now, but whenever y'all get time. I would like to see y'all take the time and look in the mirror and see how long you can look at yourself. I ain't talking about no vanity, my lashes or my hair. Or I'm talking look straight.
Is this a full mirror?
No, you said full.
Clothes on.
Hey,
I look like my hair.
When I get our full natural self.
You like D'Angelo? How does it?
No, that ain't what it'd be like. You'd be like, God, dog. But I'm just saying, because what you find is it's hard for an individual to really look at themselves in the mirror. That's why Michael Jackson made that song. I'm talking to the man in the mirror. You know, because we will look at everything external, but don't really want to do no internalizing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a fault. That's a flaw. You know, for real, because you can never get better. You ain't never gonna fix nothing that you don't feel is broke.
I think that's something like that us as a community need to work with, especially now with I'm seeing the kids not have any social skills. You don't know how they feel. You can't test their temperature by kind of looking at them no more, because
they all look the same.
They all look the same, like Stepford Wives, or that movie, The Stepford Wives. It's like there's blank there. So I think that's something we really need to, have more little shindigs like this. Kind of. I was telling Liberty after my mom passed, got to get back to the house party kind of thing, where you invite your people up, people that ain't gonna tear your house up.
You can't do that yet.
Yeah.
You got to do a lot of internalizing before you even get to that stage.
Well, that's what we've been doing
building.
it. We've been trying it out with her, me, my dad.
Yeah.
Once or twice a week, we just get together and we done have some
powwows.
She done learned a lot of history of Flint.
The missing pieces that I needed, and it was like when Eric can I?
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. So when Eric was living, he always said, "You and Gina gotta link. You gotta link." And we spent that whole duration of 10 years never in the same spaces, but never crossing until we finally. It was like, we started connecting. We was in California. I missed her by a landslide. He living in bed. We waiting on Gina Luster. And I'm like, okay, Eric, I gotta go the opposite way. I'm gonna come back to y'all and never end up, just meeting back up with her. But when we sat down after, that was right after COVID, into COVID.
So like
3-4 years before we ever had a chance to sit down and we were able to talk about health issues, children. She's really my missing link to so many things inside, not just Genesee County, inside Michigan, globally. Like, we could politic all day about stuff like, okay, let's move. But can you hear me? But that's something internally, like, I was like, I've been looking for you.
Yeah.
But
I feel the same way, though, about the missing piece thing, because you're another generation, so I'm listening to you because I be wanting to know, like, why do y'all do some of the things y'all do or feel the way you feel? Like, you told me about Michigan State, and I kind of gave you the side eye. My dad loved Michigan State too, but
me too.
But I know the history on Michigan State, and I would never want my daughter to go there.
And
not if I had to pay for it.
Right. This is my thing with Michigan State. I didn't mean to cut you off. This is why I always promote Michigan State. Now, I ain't been to Michigan State, been on their campus a couple times, but the thing with Michigan State versus Michigan, for me, University of Michigan, when it comes to recruiting.
Yeah.
See, Michigan State, they gonna come in the inner cities and give these children a chance to get an education. However, with Michigan, you got to be a standout. Everybody got to be wanting you all over the country for them to even consider you. If you come from the inner city. I mean, that's
Larry gonna have to come over to the house.
He gonna have to come and politic with us, because there were things. I agree with you in that retrospect, but when, you know, I loved Michigan, my family, Michigan people, but when I got ready to go to school, they did away with affirmative action. Michigan pulled that.
It should have been affirmative reaction.
And they pulled that, it had like, hey, we taking affirmative action away, and that was one of the things that made me go to state. But when I got inside there, you get a letter telling you, hey, it's a certain amount of students that will graduate within this time. 75% of you African American students won't graduate. They literally statistically tell you that. That first year, I went through 3 roommates. One telling me she wasn't used to people in my culture. One was on academic probation, got jumped on, and the third one wanted to party and, you know, dropped out. So it's, you know, the dynamics for me changed where I was like, shit, I should have went to an HBCU or I should have stayed home. Like, you know? So things like that internally, that the institution is not that much difference from jail in the institution, you know. So you be like, you deal with.
It's a numbers game.
And that's why I go back to seeing internally, what do I say, what do I not say? Because I got to a campus and thought I was free.
When you said that, first thing came out of my mouth to you was, so you telling me Coach Illich and all of them knew about this pedophile weirdo doctor that's, what is it, 40 years? 30
Nassar,
years?
They taught
30 years of this, 35 years.
I worked in athletics. It was whispers amongst the interns about him Nassar being a pedophile for years. And I kept telling people coming home, like, yo, that shit about to pop off. And people be like, what you mean? That shit about to go down that state, because clearly so it's a lot of girls dealing with issues.
Right behind it.
Look, Mr. Brown know about the rape culture at state.
There's a rape culture at state. There's a rape culture at U of M, and there's so many hidden secrets.
Right.
Well, you can put the alleged on there later, but there are so many babies that are hidden, and so many women that were traumatized and given degrees and sent away from both U of M and MSU. And right now with Nassar being exposed, this would be the time to just let all that dirt go. But there's a lot of stuff under previous administrations at both these schools that's still being hidden about the Fab Five, about the Rose Bowl, about this, and there's so much dirt at the university level it's just scary.
I mean, but that's probably every university, right. For real.
Everywhere.
You know, but the way I like to do,
you send your child to the university to do what?
I was 17 when I went to school.
Not to be raped or to get an abortion or
that's really. But see. In my opinion, college is really for just it's really for networking.
Yes,
that's all it's really for, because you're dealing with, just like, you know, if you send your child to a Ivy League school, you know, that's only them are the future leaders.
Allegedly.
So
allegedly, right?
Shit, you ain't gotta allege that. You look at the facts. Check the track record. They speak for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Because their kids go to school under the legacy card. They don't even have to apply.
And we understand that education is expensive, but ignorance is costly.
Very.
The first place you go to when you get arrested, if you're an athlete at Michigan State, they used to take you to the AD's office before they take you to jail.
Yes.
Athletic directory?
They would take you. You would go to the AD
director.
They would take you to the AD, not to the jail.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
If you were, especially if you were
Who
superstar.
Who keep saying allegedly? Oh yeah.
I tell the truth. I want somebody to call in.
Allegedly.
What's the phone number to call in? Because
there's
somebody out there that was an athlete.
248-820-5053.
For me, I worked in the athletic department, so I seen, you know, I had 16-hour days as a student, and I came in state 17. They give you a handbook that tell you don't walk alone. You don't. This is 1 in 5 students get a STD, and and the information. It's a whole packet, and you don't read your student handbook, and you really don't have an idea of what's really going on until you sit there and you read it. They tell you that when you go into your orientation, read the student handbook, because again, I had to go to the dean of affairs. I went through the hierarchy of, you know, chain of commands, because I had to move 3 times in my freshman year for different roommates, and I was 17. Yeah. I was 18. I didn't have a co-signer for a loan for a single, let alone enough loans, and that's internal.
That's why I think it's important, that HBCU thing. go there, get your undergraduate
They all
at
pay.
the
They all created
HBCU
by the
because
Same problems happening.
you can,
Right.
Allegedly.
and then
This is
then
allegedly show.
once you have that,
This is a alleged
that
show.
grounding and that nurturing from that HBCU, it's just something about those hallways when you walk in them. You feel wanted, accepted. You are,
You just see a lot of your own,
and you
but
see your own.
but it's not. But they're not originated from us.
Yeah.
The majority of them, they're not even originated
And
from
it-
us.
And the problem still
Internally,
exists
I did a
Yeah,
study
yeah.
away in Washington, D.C., so my internship was with BET, where I ended up at headquarters, and the first thing they told me was to take the applications, collect everybody information from Howard, then Hampton, move everybody else's applications to the side before you give them the first of refusal. Go through theirs first, and that HBCU, their kids were calling in like, hey, did you get my application or send such and such this way? That was first, but it showed me like, dang, the real Mecca. Like I'm at the wrong school, and the kids from Howard, we built relationships. But they was like, you go to a PWI. I didn't have no idea what a PWI
What's
is.
that?
A predominantly white institution.
Right.
So that's an internal.
But you got in BT, and they was trying to get there.
That's a whole nother story in itself.
Spartan wheel.
That's a whole nother story in itself. That's the story in
That's,
itself too. But that's
So,
internal.
but
Go ahead.
I realized
All this from
Go
internal
Greg.
battles.
Internal battles.
Yeah.
But I was saying, but that nurturing culture. Like I took my daughter to Jackson State. Just so happened somebody I knew was like, oh, by the way, my uncle teaches art there. Mm-hmm. He's the art professor. I end up at this guy's house looking at all this art. And
I had no idea.
no idea. So the nurturing, that's like if I send my daughter down there, it's like I'm leaving her with my aunt or family. They gonna make sure she eat. They gonna make sure she get all of the grants and scholarships for us, because they were sitting there telling Kennedy, what you want to be. You can go to school for free if you want to do A, B, C, and D, and things like that. So I'm just talking about the nurturing. Not saying when she gets done with her undergrad, you want to go to Michigan State, U of M, wherever you want, St. Mary's College, UD, I don't know,
You
get
don't
your
know,
master's, do that. But I want her to get that. I don't want her to feel like my dad said he felt that Michigan State and made him go to UAPB. I wouldn't be here if he didn't have that feeling and left state to go to HBCU.
I still don't know why I woke up today.
I went to Michigan State, and we did have a Black Caucus there. And if you fall in with the Black Caucus, there is that warmth and that feeling of family and camaraderie. Mm-hmm. But what kind of scares me about some of the historically black universities, my son, about to finish up his doctorate
Okay then.
in neurology. Now was valedictorian out of his high school, valedictorian out of his college, and now he about to finish his doctorate.
We
up.
promote that on Lessons with Larry. We promote
yeah.
that type of behavior for real.
He wanted to go to a historically black college, but you know what they told him?
What?
You can't have dreads in our med school.
What?
Oh.
And that's a black university telling black kids they can't go to med school.
Internal battles.
Because
Wow.
of your
And
hair.
look,
Right.
and how
your
you
hair.
deal with that internally.
Now, white folks are getting past this already. They got laws.
Right.
Yeah.
But we still
Yeah.
doing what to ourselves?
Yeah. Wow.
Shooting ourselves in the foot.
And
So they lost an excellent student because of it.
I think sometimes we need, it's looking in that mirror again. And sometimes we need to look in that mirror individually. And sometimes we need to look at it collectively as a people.
Right.
What are we doing to help Flint? What are we doing to help our people across the country? What are we doing as a collective black folk to improve the understanding of wealth and this, that, and the other thing, and mental health and everything else? Now, right now, we're doing something like that with this show and talking about it, and we need more of this.
Right. And go ahead.
Yeah, so I would like to say, I've been sitting here listening to everybody, and what worked for me is when I finished up with school, I started doing a lot of self-development, like learning about myself.
Right.
And we, like you were saying earlier, once we learn how to govern ourselves, and our cup overflow to a certain amount, then we can focus on helping other people.
Mm-hmm.
Not only helping other people, I didn't put something in my head to where if I can't control it, like if I can't control what's going on, why am I going to worry about it?
Don't worry
Because
about
if I
nothing
can't,
you
so,
Serenity prayer.
so it's like, so I listen to you when you say, Liberty, I'm mad because there's money coming in. I don't know where it's going. We ain't getting on the north side. You get angry. Stress kills people. Your blood pressure run up or whatever you might do to yourself. And at the end of the day, you can't control it. I don't care how mad you get. What can you actually
Stump
do?
your feet.
Now, what you can control is how much money coming in your household.
Right.
So we should be focusing on that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's just all I got to say.
No,
Get somebody to read the Serenity
And that's
prayer.
good.
For what? I mean, we already
And
know that.
seriously.
Internally, go back to George, but you said you can't help yourself until you help others. But he wake up with his mindset on how can I help others every day so I can know why I'm here. So that's that internal battle where I said, is it a DNA thing
But
that
it's
I just
about learning
like
self first, and then once you figure out who you are, all of that other stuff, it'll be figured out.
Right. And he
It'll
was
work
saying that's
itself.
not even.
Inside
And
the
it's
internal
still
battle,
work.
but
It's still, I'm still a work in progress,
Right.
and I probably would never figure it all out, but I'm getting better with it.
And you could
As
be a
I'm-
master.
And
at
I-
the same
Sometimes you
time.
can find it,
Yeah.
and you can also lose it and have to refind it again.
Yeah, with day-to-day life and struggles. But like I said, if a person just govern themselves and worry about themselves and don't worry about the masses for right now until you get yourself in check, if you ever get yourself in check,
right.
you'll be in a better place.
And I seen that too with James. Like
Right,
we would go powwow and have breakfast too, and the lady brought him the wrong thing. He was like, "This not what I wanted." I'm like, I was that Gina for him that particular day. I was in a different internal space, but I've seen a lot of growth with you too, James, because he could have backhanded her like, "This not what I ordered. This not what I want." Like internally, so that's how I was today when she giving my friend this white lettuce heads and all in her food and telling her to toss her stuff around and eat
you
it.
can control that because that's what I'm saying. So it's okay for you to get mad and that internal come out because that's something you can control. I'm talking about things that you can't control
It's out
that
of
you
your
get
control.
mad at. That's out of you. That was in your control.
That was in
you
my
was
control.
supposed to, you know.
Yeah, ask
you gotta
him
let
to get a
people
different
know.
salad.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say something to her because she was younger and it was me and it was Gina. I was like, well, can we say something to her as older black women to kind of school her? Like,
And
I said-
internal and external.
Yeah, it
battle.
was internal and external. And I said, no, we're going to let the tip reflect and speak for us. And we don't have to say anything when she see
Choices.
that tip.
Choices.
You know, now, like I told you, when I left out of that brother's joint, my thing was because once I've had a situation with you,
Set the
you know,
tone.
to where when you done set the tone. Now, guess what? I don't even want you cooking for me.
Right.
You know, I don't want nothing extra that I ain't paid
Right,
for.
right.
You know what I mean? So to alleviate this without making a scene, let me just ease on out of here the same way I eased in here, and I'm not gonna forget. You know what I mean? For real.
And y'all didn't get to that point yet, because y'all didn't even bring it
Yeah,
up.
because I told Liberty they going to have your hamburger bun
Right.
rubbed it on the back.
Said, let's
Yeah,
wait.
'cause I
Let's wait. I'm
was
with you on that. Yeah, you know.
I said, let's chill.
what's that number? What's that number?
The call in number is
248.
248-820-5053.
Read the comment.
What's the comment? We have a comment, someone.
As I was saying, when I look at my phone to try to read comments, for some reason they're not loading into my phone, so I can't see that far. So
If
we're
you
on
could,
the same
if you want
app,
to read
but
them.
it's not loading, so I
Okay.
cannot
Got
see it. To read.
Gotcha. So Chuck Frazier.
Okay.
Chuck Frazier. Thanks for the comment, Chuck Frazier. Chuck Frazier says, "Ni hao wa chang bomba." No, that's not what it says.
Shit, you in the Japan. I ain't got no advice for you.
Mandarin?
Google Translate.
Yeah.
He said, "We gotta better ourselves, then share the knowledge, help others to be better themselves. But the people gotta want better for themselves, work for it, not thinking it's supposed to be given to them."
Flat out. I agree with you 1,000%.
Good.
Chuck, you
I
said
can't
Chuck.
be entitled to my freedom.
You got it in your name.
You already got it.
You got it in your
You
name.
got to define it.
And that's something
Yeah.
too. Even when I think about what George said too, like I think the key and I think somebody mentioned it too, but the key I think really is just the community. Like we gotta get to a point, even like how you concerned about the north side, like, and one thing I love about like not, because I had this mindset even before I got into politics, but like we don't need to rely on the government for nothing. You feel what I'm saying? Like you could build a whole community all by yourself. You know, even like what I mean, he was talking about how he got the land and what he wanted to do on the land. He said, I'm happy with what I've got because I got a place where I can enjoy, I can host my family, I can eat, I can do what I can go fishing. We gotta get to the point where we're not waiting on somebody to describe what life need to look like. We can just go and make it for ourselves, but it's a lot that we gotta probably get over before we get to that point, because again the internal battles is going on where people's like, well, because we could say today, shoot, everybody in this room, we could say, okay, we about to pull all our money out the banks, we about to go ahead and split everything right down the middle because we about equity, about to use this part of the money to go buy the house, everybody move everything over here, you get this room, and then say we get to that point, we get to the house, somebody room bigger than somebody else's room, or somebody got to park on the street instead of the driveway,
somebody put in more money than somebody
exactly
else.
Yes. and now we struggling and we feel like since we came with most of the money, we should make most of the decisions, instead of just getting back to the mindset where we're doing this for this plan, and kind of how George said, I wake up without no value. We have to get that community going so we all can feel value, so we all have roles to play, so when we wake up in the morning we know, okay, I'm supposed to be cutting the grass today, or I'm supposed to be washing the dishes, and I'm supposed to be teaching the children today, but if we don't have roles, we kind of just going through life.
So I got a question.
Okay,
what if the community don't want it?
Everybody can't go.
That's what I'm saying.
Can't
like,
go. So
you gotta find out what community.
I really don't feel like a lot of people want what you can try to, like I was telling somebody the other day, like I'm in the policy, what I'm saying, I study policy, that's with my master, and it's like, do I really want to jump out and be a martyr for people that and really do some stuff for a community that don't even feel like
sacrificing that internal?
Well, that's what you got to find out what the community even look like, though. And then you got to think about us. We consumers too, so like everybody, even from the set, is everybody not gonna be on board anyway. But once people be able to see like what's going on, they gonna be like, damn, you know what? That's something I could be a part of. Even we not out here buying acres of land. He get 8 acres. Somebody else gonna be wondering, and he talking about cherry trees that he giving away, and he fish. People gonna be like, damn, that's a good idea. Maybe I could get a couple of these lots next to my house, and I can do something else. But people got to be able to see something because we consumers. It's one of the biggest mental illnesses, I think, and this might be a bomb. It's how we in so-called Africa, we had all the minerals, and we said, but just give me Jesus, and we opened our eyes, and all the minerals gone. They got everything, and we got Jesus in the Bible.
All the minerals,
and so it's like we see stuff and we want it, and so sometimes we gotta usher our people to a certain point where they know what's important. It's not about being so glamorous and flashy. Sometimes you got to get out there and till the land. You got to plant some stuff, and this is what life looks like, and it's some hard work that's got to happen before it becomes easy. You know what I mean?
And the best way, I believe, and I agree with you 1,000%. I agree with you too, brother. That was a good point you brothers made. But the best way, in my humble opinion, I believe that it's very important for us as a people to be able to just get ourselves together, and then once we can get ourselves together, the best way we can help anybody is through examples. How you carry yourself, that's an example. You know what I mean? My mother, she raised me and she said, Larry, don't never do nothing you don't want to remember. And when she told me that helped create the man that y'all looking at today. Because there's certain things you won't see Larry do. You won't see me involved because I don't want nobody to never remember.
It's something to think about.
One of the funkiest things that is done to us is we are sometimes allowed to forget our own history. We had that community. We had, when under segregation, right or wrong, we had black neighborhood, black communities, and people.
I seen it. I grew up
working together.
I grew up seeing what you saying right here on North Street, Saginaw. I remember North and Industrial and all that. When Buick was down there, I mean, I was born in the '60s, so I was young and I'm seeing this. And then go ahead.
internally. So that is where my DNA problem kicks in, because I hear about those stories, but that gap there is like, you know, we don't talk about how Unc was smoking crack at 13, but then he turned around and he was selling it back for the dope man and making his money, and then you got the generation that come up after me. So now I'm dealing with the internal.
Okay, keep going.
Now I'm dealing with the internal issues of how do I fix this shit that y'all left for me to deal with when I don't want, I'm gonna say they, as in them who control the governmental society, they got our, you said pause?
Can the caller hear us? I just let the caller in.
Oh.
Can you hear us, caller?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, we can hear you. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Thank y'all for having me. This is Dante.
Which one?
What's up?
Huh?
What's up?
Which Dante? I mean, anybody? I know.
How you doing, Dante?
All right, what's happening, Dante? My man. All right, you ain't got.
What's good, Dante? What up?
That's my street name.
Hold on, because this gentleman, you know, go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to say that I'm very involved in new ideas for the community and what's been going on. I think you brothers y'all on to something. It definitely takes knowledge of self, and we need to reteach our kids.
I swear.
Knowledge of self.
Facts.
As far as us as adults, we need to stop depending on this government or this system itself and create our own system. Because men don't work for other men or beg for jobs. They create jobs.
Say that again, please.
I said men don't work for other men or assist other men. They create their jobs and create work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agree with y'all saying, though. This is the right path, and I said this a long time ago. Like, instead of giving them this Western European colonialism education, we need to teach them the knowledge of self.
Ask them where you calling from.
Where you calling from?
I'm from Flint.
Oh, okay, that's
Right
cool,
next
bro.
door.
Oh, okay, all right.
I knew it, man. I knew you was from Flint the way you
Yeah,
talking.
yeah, but yeah, you definitely on point, bro. You know, you definitely on point.
Oh, y'all on point. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, you was on point. We appreciate your call, man. Call back in, and, you know, tap in with us. We doing this every Monday at 6:30, between 6:30 and 7. You know what I mean? But 6:30, you know, and you know, lessons with Larry. You know, we appreciate your call.
Subscribe and share, man.
Yes, sir.
And I want to say, because it's so true.
What he said was facts.
Everybody in the community ain't gonna come to the table.
Everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go. The boat only so big, you know. And
I mean, you welcome to come, but everybody ain't gonna come, and you can't hold the ship up waiting on somebody that's not coming. So
guess what? I'm not inviting nobody that I don't feel like I can do that with to that round table. I'm not bringing you to the round table with me, her, and my dad if I ain't feel like you could mush. Add something to it,
or you ready to take something from it.
Mr. Brown, I'll be to pick up my cherry tree. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so what y'all said, everybody can't come. Noah's Ark. Hey.
Internally.
Flint.
Okay.
Our Noah's Ark for Flint. It's a few, especially the politicians, I know I don't want on the boat.
Well, you know, like I said,
you can't get on the boat. I'm gonna put a hole in your life jacket.
I don't really. Yeah, everybody serving purpose. You're right, but you know, I don't really get into politics. You know,
that's exactly what.
And you know, for real, because you know, my thing is because I already realized that too many people benefit from our behavior that we display.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's too many people eating off of this.
Yeah.
So you know, they make you look bad. You know, now people, you know, when you come around, people, they blood pressure, you know, go up too. You know what I mean? Because of the way you've been presented, the way you carry yourself, the way you know, you loud, you know, this, that, and the third. When really, and I did coin a phrase, and my phrase I coined, it was earlier this week, and it was called bougie po. Bougie po. Meaning, you know, you trying to act bougie, but you got too many of your old po ways that you ain't fixed. You know what I mean? And we suffer from that. But I can bring, you know, we don't really have to talk about what we suffer from. Let's just talk about how we can fix it. And if you're not planning on fixing something, then you don't have the right to speak on it.
Because we do maintain.
Let me say some of these comments. So going back when y'all was talking about state and Michigan, T-Cell said go blue. I believe the person that called in, Dante, said I'm just listening. I support the idea of self-governance. T-Cell, the hood gotta save the hood.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna save us, man. Quit
Man
playing.
should build his own civilization. That's the leaders in our society. And then we need to stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe, smoke and mirrors BS. And said the BOP made me
Bureau
the man.
of Prison.
Yeah, BOP.
Bureau, okay,
yeah, Bureau of Prisons.
Made me the man who I am today.
Yeah.
And then he said SQO life.
SQO life.
SQ life.
I have to think that might be related.
SQO.
That's Squall Life Tay. I don't know. Flat out. That's my little bro. So he's talking about Dante, bro.
Okay.
And so, Flint politicians will get your heads cracked. He said, "I'm a loner anyway. Our opportunities are held by people who don't really want to see you develop. And yeah, Flint politics.
Yeah, I just wanted to slide this in real quick because it was just amazing and so refreshing when you were telling me about what he was doing, because I was telling you about, you really gotta read. Some people don't like to read. You gotta read.
A lot of people can't read.
Or can't read. So literacy is important too, but
very.
It's programs like this that for the kids. And I was saying that, the program I'm trying to get my daughter into, when she get done with that program, she can go work at like any kind of water department, municipality. Those kind of things are important. She really don't have to go to a 4-year school college. You can get that trade. You can get that trade down pat and do what he's doing. And he ain't got nobody he got to pay back or telling him, nah, your chickens is too loud. Because he on 8 acres. He ain't got nobody to tell him. You know what I'm saying? So that's being self-sufficient and teaching our kids now when it's so important, like Larry said. Now, when me and my daughter do the free things, I'm making her volunteer at them.
That's right.
Same.
That's right.
Okay, you want to take a watermelon home but you didn't put in 4 hours. So, yeah, I'll let you take some watermelon home. But, nah, we ain't finna load up with all of them potatoes and carrots. We don't need that. We can go purchase those things. Yeah. But the service, teach our kids about
serve their community.
Yes.
Serve
and then you ain't got to worry about them not having any kind of social skills. Because that, like we was talking about earlier, that's going to be a problem for us. Especially the black community.
Right.
Summer is coming, and I feel that the kids in Flint have not been educated correctly. They've been forced standards all year long. There's a need for enrichment. There's a need for creativity. There's a need for critical thinking. I am a certified teacher. I would love to start a program this summer where kids can come and go fish. Kids can learn how to farm. Kids can grow their own vegetables and get to explore some land inside the city. And I'm willing to work with anyone who wants to come by and work with me.
Okay.
I've been working at 8 acres, and I got greenhouses, and I got land that I can give to people or loan to people to use.
Right.
Okay.
Please define what you mean by give to people. What you
Well,
your land up?
Well, I don't mean sharecrop. I mean
1 acre,
Right.
1 acre and 1 mule. You
You
get
sharecropping over there.
Give them.
we're not going to repeat that. We're not going to repeat that history.
What do you mean by give?
you about to be pimped.
I would say this.
We be on there.
If you take a quadrant of land or a piece of land,
Right.
everything you produce on that land will be yours because I got too much land for me to handle.
Right. Come and help them
So-
maintain.
So they can put a garden.
You allow people to come and curate on that land, and
Whatever you mean by curate, they
They
can.
give you nothing.
Short of them planting something that's going to get me in trouble or
Right,
that's not
right,
totally
right.
legal yet, they can come
Do
and
what you
plant
wanna
their
do.
tomatoes, their garden,
Well,
whatever. And I will even provide some of the resources as far as tools
Right.
and some of the soil and everything else that they'll
That's
need,
what's
and,
So-
and expertise because I'm a master gardener also.
So
Oh
pretty
no,
much,
it is legal.
so pretty much we can come out and plant poppies and cannabis.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
come
it is legal.
As long as you
It's
stay
no,
under
it
the
is-
legal
Come on with
limits.
the
When
Right.
Sheriff
I'm
Lobo
saying.
can call his cousin Enos at the federal level and kick in your door, it's not legal.
Oh no, you
Stay under the legal limit.
okay? Well,
We gonna wait for that.
So we're gonna wait for the federal legalization.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
yeah, this has been another episode of Lessons with Larry.
I want to say something before you jump off. I know
Okay.
we had an hour 9 minutes. Do I have time?
Go ahead, brother.
This your
Yes,
show.
sir.
Not much.
I see it. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm of the belief, I know what I said, but y'all see I'm still in my actions. I still do what I need to do in order to be productive in this life. So I'm under the belief that what we are experiencing here, specifically in Flint, Michigan, is spreading abroad because everybody is coming home, whether they want to, whether their time was up serving, whether they moved out to Hollywood and they got to come back home, whatever. Everybody's coming back to Flint or back to this area for specific reasons, and we're getting the opportunity under the pressures that we have with this Flint water crisis, with all these different things that only certain people could deal with. How many crises, how many things that have happened in this community specifically that people just ignore and act like never happened nowhere else can happen, and people still survive like we're doing and thrive like we're doing, and do it like ain't nothing happened. Yeah. Only a place like this can this happen, and if we don't create the opportunities from conversations like this, from the things we see, and demand what it is that we need so we can push those things out in other cultures, then the blame is on us, because so goes Flint, so goes the rest of the country, in my belief, because this is the Silicon Valley of the industrial age.
He just echoed what Dr. John Henry Clark he said a speech a long time ago. He asked what made us black people be able to take the heavy blows that would have obliterated another community, and for some reason we still here. Yeah. And he said, is it to give the world its second humanity, because we got the world its first humanity, so.
Shout out to Dr. Clark, because he was
on point.
Teacher.
Yeah, for sure. And I would just like to say in closing out that it would be imperative, it would do us all good if we all would just look at ourselves in the mirror and correct the things that we can and ask for help for the things that we can't. You know what I mean? For real. And one of my mottos with my organization, which is Lots of Love Mentors for Success, is that it's easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. So the keys is the kids, man. You know what I'm saying? We have to tap back into them, because that disconnect is causing us to be exactly where we at, for real. Because if we don't have nothing to even if you don't have nothing, if you don't have nothing to say, money or whatever with society or whatever to pass on, that wisdom they need, and it's been missing. You know what I mean? Because what I was gonna say, I remember, when we was talking about community a little bit, I'm gonna touch on this. I remember your grandfather. See, I'm talking about long before I knew, your cousin and knew your grandfather. The Luster store down on on Dayton. Dayton Avenue A. Hold on, I remember my grandmother sending me down there to Luster store with a note, no money,
Fifth Ward.
with a note. Hold on, now people out with a note, and I didn't know what the note said because at the time I couldn't read. She said, "Here, take that down there to get at the Mr. Luster," and I handed it over. Jay, my granny sent me down, and he bagged some stuff up, and I go on back up there and give it back and continue to play. You know what I mean? But that was that sense of community. So later on in life, I asked Mr. Luster. I asked him personally. I had one question I asked your grandfather, and you may not even be privy to this because you wasn't there during the conversation. But I asked him. I said, "Mr. Luster." Because I'm at this point I'm grown. When I was talking about with the note, I was a little boy. So I said, "Mr. Luster," I said, "I got one question." And I said, "Why did you sell your stove to the Arabs?" I asked him why, because I wanted to know. Yeah. And he told me, he said, "Larry, after desegregation, He say they felt that the white man's sugar was sweeter. I would have stuff on my shelves and wouldn't nobody come get it. And it wound up expiring and getting old. And the very same people that I would give credit to the first of the month or whatever, the whole community, I would feed them till they get their checks or whatever. You know, them people, they took their money in business and went somewhere else, and my stuff was staying on the shelf. So he said I had to, and from there, I never forget them words. I never forget what he said, because that question, that was a serious question for me. Because, you know, I'm wondering, like, why is it that we don't have nothing no more? Because I grew up seeing something. So for the average kid right now, or the average child, even the average young adult, they will look at the community and they didn't see what I saw. They didn't know that all this, we had a black pharmacist, we had so many business, black cleaners, everything up and down. When Kresge's was down here, you know what I'm saying, Montgomery Ward and all that, you know what I mean? You don't see that no more. So we got to get back to get ourselves together, so that way once we get ourselves together, then we can help ourselves, help our community, you know what I mean, and turn this thing around, and, you know, make it something real beautiful. But that's what I got to say in closing. Now, if anybody else want to say something before we go, please do.
So in closing, I want to say to all of our viewers that's watching us, like it, share it to your friends and family, and start, you know, coming on in and see what we got going on, because it's going to be one day, if you're not on Out of the Mud, you're not going to be able to see this content. So y'all need to check in.
Flat out.
Peace.
Yes. Okay.